Hey, I'm Claire, I'm from Scotland, but I'm here doing a little tour of the United States, visiting some friends and just generally sightseeing the country. So I'm here to visit my good friend Angel, while she records her YouTube channel Angel's Table. So why don't you come and join me?
Welcome to Angel's Table. Joining Parker Matheson, Sullivan Matheson, and me is a very dear friend, Clare Tait. Hey, she is joining
she's all
us.
right.
She's pretty awesome. She's joining us. Okay, I'll clarify this. She is Scottish, but she resides in England.
Yeah.
And she is doing a little tour of the United States this summer.
Yeah.
So you've been here 2 months.
Yeah, I've got another month to go, which I'm really sad about because I had such an amazing time the last 2 months.
Yeah, we're a better country.
Well, than Scotland? I don't think so. Yeah, if
Well,
we take the United Kingdom as a whole.
I'm talking about the United
Take
Kingdom.
Scotland out of it?
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you don't live in Scotland either, so...
That's just a technicality.
She's
just to do with the weather.
Home country.
It's my motherland.
It's your motherland.
It is.
Indeed. He's just messing with you anyway.
No.
Okay, go back to what you were saying before you were being rudely interrupted.
I don't interrupt anybody rudely.
So yeah, I've been here for 2 months. I've visited lots of different states. Some that I've already been in before, some are completely new and, you know, exciting and adventurous. So I started my journey in New York. Then I headed over to Cleveland and Philadelphia. Where did I go? Dallas, Vegas, Los Angeles, Chicago and Detroit. So this is where I am.
What I think is really cool, we were talking one day earlier, that you had said you're visiting friends in a lot of these states, not all of them, but in many of them you're visiting people you know. And when I had asked how you known them, a lot of them were randomly, like how you had met me, or they were at airports, and I just thought, wow, it's kind of crazy and amazing at the same time, that God puts people in these specific situations. Yeah.
And other than, like you're saying, Chicago being the only state that I've not, I don't have any friends there. It wasn't a conscious decision to go and, say, oh, I'm going to meet my friend. But every other state I visited, I have friends there. And they're all, through my traveling previously here, or traveling to Italy, where I have a beautiful Cleveland family who I met in Italy 4 years ago. But everyone else has been kind of, we met in Los Angeles, myself, Ginger and Chris. So we have this little square going on between us.
Right.
Friendship. And it's largely been about, people who have crossed my path over the years. And for whatever reason, you stay in touch, you love them, they are your world, your best friends. Well, although thousands of miles between you, they're still important in your life.
Right, which like our relationship is like that.
Absolutely.
We connected in LA at Young Actors Camp, because Sullivan went to Young Actors Camp, and they had, and I think they still have, a parent camp. And we were all there as parents wanting to learn how to break our kids into the industry.
Yep. And
we got on the bus and we all started talking, and it was like, that was it. From then on, it was like we'd known each other all our lives, that we were all meant to be together, and we spent that entire week like we had known each other our whole lives, and whatever one did, the rest did. So it wasn't like, well, I'm going to do my own thing today. We all just completely connected. And then you have that with other people, that you've continued these relationships and have been traveling.
And I think that's amazing. A good thing about social media, that you can keep in touch on a daily basis. So, you don't actually have to, although you're in someone's life, you don't actually have to be in the same room or the same state or even the same country.
Right.
You know,
Amazing.
you're in Detroit, Michigan. You know, Chris is in Vegas. Ginger originally was in Memphis. Now she's in Dallas. And my Cleveland family, you know, we met in Italy. You know, so it's
great. Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, and I do love that. I mean, you're sort of just taking it as it comes. Like, okay, I'm going to go to Cleveland. Well, then, okay, what should I do next? Let me figure out where everybody is and what they're doing. And okay, they're available this week. I'll go see them. Like what happened with coming to see us.
Yeah,
because it was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to happen. The summer was crazy, and I knew that I wasn't really going to have what I would consider prepping for company time.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't care. Just come. My house is a disaster. I don't care if it's clean. Just show up. Because it's like, I could not let you go back to...
Well, we hadn't seen each other since Young Actors Camp.
I know.
You know, and although, you know, we kind of talk on a regular basis, you know, almost every day, you know, through Facebook messages and things, I couldn't not visit you. I couldn't leave the country knowing that I hadn't seen you. You know?
I would. Oh my
It would have been
gosh.
fun.
Yeah.
And not for me. And then the other thing.
You're
I
welcome,
mean,
Claire. And don't worry, we'll put subtitles in the video for
those who don't understand what
the English.
So what I love, because I had told the kids that you were coming, and Pete and I said, my friend Claire is coming to stay with us for about a week, and they're like, who? Well, Pete knew who you were, and Sullivan knew, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and as soon as you came in and sat down, and everybody came and said hello to you, it was almost as if they'd known you forever too.
Oh, that's how I felt.
You and Parker just immediately, you know, hit it off. And
I do that with everyone.
Oh, Parker. These are the $10 that I owe you from earlier. Okay, there's actually only, I've got a confession, there's only 9 there,
That's
but I've hidden the other ones. Not on you personally. Just around the house, got your name on it.
Oh, that's awesome. To explain, she gave him a challenge about some jelly beans, that you'll see that in another episode. And
Can we put that on YouTube? It's a joke.
The jelly
It was
beans?
lewd.
yeah, right. So another thing you did, which is really kind of cool, is you were in between stays. It was before we could act. I mean, we weren't here, so you couldn't just show up. So you had a period of time that you didn't have anything to do, and so you were trying to decide what you're going to do, and you just what?
Yes, so I was in Philadelphia.
I told the story myself.
Yeah.
Let me tell your story.
Okay, you go.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, I was in Philadelphia, and I was coming. You know, I was doing some camping and things with a friend, and came to the end of the trip and said, you know, where are you going? What are you doing? I have no idea. I'm literally just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm just going to turn up at the train station and just see what's on board. And that's what I did. I waited for intervention or got instinct, and Chicago was the thing that the clerk offered, and I thought, well, let's do Chicago.
Yeah.
Could have been Washington. I could have come to Detroit early and, you know, spent a few days here without you guys. But
I think that's so cool. There was a girl that she was actually a year younger than me that she just did that. She went to Europe and just by herself and was like, I'll see where I go, see what happens. And like, you have to meet people when you do that, and you have to be
confident.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the key.
I would love to do that. My parents would never let me, I don't think. But
We'll just send you with a gun. You'll be
they
fine.
would be worried sick. But I think that would be so much fun.
It
Just
would
like
be fun.
go somewhere and be like, well, I'll see what happens. I'm going by myself.
Yeah.
There's a little bit inside you that's a little bit apprehensive, and you're thinking, okay, how did I get to this point where I actually haven't made any plans? And I'm not the kind of person that everything's structured in my life. You know, I like to have some kind of idea of what's going on, and then everything else is open.
Right.
But this is like the first time in my life I've actually just turned up somewhere and said, okay, I have no plan. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have my suitcases, my rucksack, and my trilby hat.
Eyes closed, point on the map.
I'm going here.
That's it.
What was the
Anything
best
like that.
meal you've had so far?
Oh wow! Oh my gosh, I couldn't I don't even know.
There's,
I've had a lot of good meals.
there's definitely Chicago pizza, right?
Do you know, I've never had a Chicago pizza.
What?
Except like if they're frozen in a box,
Well, that's not-
from like
that's
the
not-
store back home,
Yeah.
which obviously isn't
It's
the
not.
real deal.
Yeah.
She did say she had a Philly cheesesteak.
I did. Because you can't go to Philly without having it. And I guess you can't go to Chicago without
Yeah.
having a pizza. Okay, I can see where we're going tonight. Yeah, I wasn't enthralled with the Philly cheesesteak. It was good for what it was, but yeah, I think we had this conversation that you can kind of make things better at home.
Right. Well, then I was talking to you about the Coney Island hot dog, which we have here.
Yeah.
And it might be the same sort of thing. And for us, for me, it's a treat once a year. It's not something I can really eat often.
I think Parker might disagree.
I'm just surprised. Go on.
But it's one of those things. It's like, should I even take her to have one? Is that? And then it's like you'll go, oh, yeah, it's bread with chili sauce on it. So it could be the same type of thing.
But it's like it's your home.
Yeah,
That's like our
but
thing.
most people
but
that
it's
come
not
like
like
it.
gourmet food.
But because you're more.
It's not gourmet. Hot dogs are not gourmet.
Hot dogs soaked in
Do we need to
chili.
put out an alert?
No, I had a friend who came in from actually the director of Young Actors Camp, Michelle. She came in, so I spent a day with her, and I took her to get a Coney, and she enjoyed it. She did. Yeah, that was really fun. But that was the other thing, that if I'd had a lot of prep time for you coming here, I would have planned all the things, the things I like to cook for guests, and it's like, I'd really rather spend the time talking to you than cooking.
Well, me too.
So,
Absolutely.
they want to
We
capitalize
have
on
favorite restaurants. that
I
we
can make fried rice if you want.
You could make fried rice. That would be fun. You could do some cooking.
I did remember the best meal I've had.
What?
Was at
What city?
It's Las Vegas.
Okay.
And it was the Hibachi restaurant.
Ooh, hibachi.
And it's like
good.
the first time I've ever done it, and I was just,
Oh,
oh my
really?
gosh, absolutely amazed. And, this
Was
guy
it at
fantastic.
one of those tables?
Yeah,
where they
so
cook?
everyone, was in like a big
That's always
rectangle,
fun.
and and the guy was awesome, and he's picking things up and throwing shrimps into people's mouths and things. I thought, my God, this is like the coolest thing ever. So
yeah,
that was
hibachi
the
was
best.
awesome.
But not quite as fun as the chocolate martinis.
Never as fun as the chocolate martini. Sullivan.
Yes, Sullivan has been our bartender for the last couple of days. She's been too good of a bartender.
And you decapitating the chocolate bunny, of course.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. So I do love this, that Sullivan had the Georgia peach all ready for us when we came home.
That's
I thought,
true.
oh, that's so sweet.
true.
So she just took that upon herself to do that. And then the next day I said, you guys make us chocolate martinis. And Parker ran to the store, and Sullivan made them, and never made them. And they ended up being the best I've ever had.
But they were beautifully
fantastic.
decorated though as well, because of obviously the chocolate and the cocoa
Chocolate
powder
bunny.
and, yeah.
Hey, when you're looking, how do you got to do the rim of the glass? And so it's like, what do we do? And I go in the pantry, and there's a chocolate bunny from Easter 2 years ago.
Well,
And I take
well,
the
you
bunny,
got-
and I'm like, sorry, bunny.
you,
A year and a half.
you got a chocolate bunny that was filled with something, so it's like, I don't want that. I
I
don't
don't
want
eat the chocolate
that.
bunnies
It was cookie
anyway.
dough.
I'm the only one that
No,
eats
Parker
the
does
chocolate
eat his
bunny.
chocolate.
I eat the
That's what I
chocolate
don't.
bunnies, but that had whatever in it. I'm like, I don't want that.
I don't think I realized it when I bought those. So yeah, we decapitated the bunny to get the shaved chocolate. So it was quite lovely.
They were,
We enjoyed
especially at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Especially at 3 o'clock in the morning with all those giggles, like a couple of
Little
high school girls.
schoolgirls.
Yeah, I like this. Like, you don't have to go home ever, do you?
I'm sure they'll let me stay.
They will.
I will. I'll just get a little group of my friends together and can all phone the consulate or
That's
the embassy
exactly.
and say, she can't leave.
Yeah,
we need her.
We need her here.
Give her a work visa.
So what have you enjoyed? What has stood out to you as something that was pretty wonderful and special?
Lots of different things, and every state has something different to offer. Like Chicago with the architecture and everything. Philadelphia has your history, and I went camping, and that's like the first time I've done that in 20 years. but it was in a camper van, so we call that glamping back home. It's glamorous camping.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of technically
It's not camp.
properly
It's like,
camping,
right.
but, you know, I'm still good with that. So it was about overcoming kind of fears and phobias as well, because, you know, I don't like the dark. And I don't like the woods and things. I don't like saying...
It's hard to sleep at night, isn't it?
Well, actually, when I got there, it was so peaceful and serene. I thought, this is what I've needed in my life. You know, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So it was beautiful, and I embraced it. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm not so scared of the woods and the dark, and you know. So that's a different kind of experience for me.
Right.
And then, you know, going to visit Chris in Vegas, you know, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And I did the Insanity ride on top of the stratosphere. And, you know, initially I wasn't going to do it, and I'm saying to the kids, there's no way you're going to get me up there. And I got to the top, and I thought, you know what, I'm here to experience things and to step outside my comfort zone, and this is totally going to take me outside the comfort zone. So I thought, yeah, I'll do it. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Just dangling over the edge like 900 feet in the air. Like, wow, where's my camera? Why don't I have a camera?
Oh, yeah, sometimes you think of that afterwards. Well, one of the things I realized that you were one day talking about your love of locomotives.
Yes.
And we have Henry Ford or
Makes
Greenville
me sound
Village.
like a geek, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're a nerd.
I know a few people who love trains. I mean, I think they're really cool, but I never knew, like, the whole train spotting thing. I really don't understand
you,
it. All I can think
can
is,
I just-
could you hurry up and go so I can get right?
I don't have an anorak, and I don't own binoculars. I promise I'm not that person. I just love steam trains. I love the Victorian era, and, you know, largely that's...
Did
Yes.
you take the Amtrak and not enjoy any of it?
I love the Amtrak, actually, yeah, I do. And because I love train travel. So it was beautiful coming from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh.
It's just extremely slow.
But I like that. You know, it's a good time to reflect or read or write or do something, you know. So I really, really enjoyed it. A lot of kind of industrial places, and a lot of places that maybe a little bit more dilapidated than I thought, you know.
Right.
But beautiful nonetheless. You know,
you
the
kind of-
mountains and the valleys and, you know, the lakes. And, yeah.
You do kind of hope that when you're on a train ride that it goes through a lot of pretty area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was lucky that I think I chose the right journey going from Philadelphia to Chicago and changing in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, just the drive from Pittsburgh is just so incredibly beautiful anyway, and it's just one of the prettiest drives.
Well, when I was in Cleveland, and my friends there were bringing me down from Cleveland to Philadelphia the first time I visited, and we came through, you know, whatever number highway it is. So we didn't really see too much because obviously we were too busy laughing and putting the world to rights and, you know, just being typical women. So I didn't really see very much of the country, but I'm glad that I got to see it, you know, going back.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you're enjoying yourself too much to be taking in what's going around you.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's been a great journey.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I really wish that we had more time together because I have so much just in Michigan I would love to show you.
Yeah.
And because we have a lot of really special places.
We're going to Yargo Springs.
Yargo Springs. We're going to try. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to
Oh, you could go
put as
to
much in as we can.
go visit one of the Great Lakes. Be like, look how big this thing is.
Well, that's what
It's
I wanted
fucking
to do.
huge,
I was
right?
thinking, well, maybe
Look, you
instead of
can't
doing
see
that,
it
maybe we
across.
should just drive
It's
up
just
to, like-
water for miles. So how does this happen? you
Well,
know?
that's when I was in Chicago, and where I was staying is right on South Shore, and it's right next to, you know, Lake Michigan, and it's just so beautiful, and it's crystal clear, and, you know, and I'm drinking the water, and I'm thinking, oh my god,
Oh, don't drink the water.
fish pee in here. What am I doing? But it tasted so good, and it was so
my
much
gosh.
nicer than tap water, and it's not salty.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh,
you have to experience it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it is really one of the great thing when you go to one of the Great Lakes and you stand at the shoreline and just look out at the horizon.
Yeah, it's like an ocean.
It is, but it still has a different feel to it, like a
For
different
one-
kind of calm.
It doesn't like throw you know, through the ringer when you're playing in the waves.
That's true.
But there were no waves.
Yeah,
No, it's
it's
so
just like
still.
it's like.
yeah. So
And
there's
then no salt, so it's just way better than the ocean in every way, shape, or form.
There you go. But
that's
fish
true.
do still pee in it.
Agreed.
Guess she was still peeing it.
Whatever.
That's true.
It builds up an immunity.
Oh my gosh.
So you have 4 more weeks in your.
I do.
Where else are you going?
So after I leave here in a few days, I'm going back to Cleveland. We may get to go to Niagara Falls, depending on how things fall, you know, with my friend and her family. And then back to Philadelphia for my last week. Which would be nice.
Cool.
And then you're coming back next year, right?
Well, I'm hoping to come back in a few months, not just next year. But you may have to come visit me depending on where I land.
I would love that. So really would. Well,
Bring the
thanks
clan.
for joining our table.
Thank you for having me.
I know you
It's been
didn't really
amazing.
want to at first, but you ended up being one of our best guests overall with all the different segments we've done.
What can I say?
There will be in 2 more segments. It's really awesome. You've got to look for them. We've had some good fun.
Come on, more.
Oh, keep going.
And thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you. Ching ching.